Do you like fantasy football and sports betting? Come join us here at the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, where hosts Matt, Shane, and Jason talk about fantasy players, lineups, and sports betting to help you compete and win championships. And of course, some extra cash. Let's jump right into the show.
Welcome back to the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. It's your boy Shane, and unfortunately we're missing a member here, but we still have Mr. Jason. How are you doing, my guy?
Doing well. Last week was kind of rough for me in fantasy. I kind of got my teeth kicked in a little bit, and the injury bug struck kind of heavy last week there, Shane.
I definitely feel that from someone who's competing redraft team, just lost Malik Neighbors. If you have made it this far and you haven't faced a serious injury, I want whatever you're having. That's
off.
Yeah, hats off. Congrats. You beat the absolute game here. So everybody's dealing with it. It's part of the game. If we could turn them off, it would be amazing to turn off the injuries. But I digress. We can't. Just a couple of housekeeping things. This is the fantasy episode. If you are looking for the betting episode, I will link it at the end of this video. Go ahead and click, or it's probably down there in the live section for Parlay or for Fantasy Six Pack. You can click on the Parlay Podcast under Fantasy Six Pack. Speaking of which, please go check out fantasysixpack.net. We have our best bets there, as well as tons of fantasy football content, DFS help, and tons more of baseball, basketball, DFS. They got it all, an extremely cheap rate, and an amazing product. Use code Parlay FF for 15% off. Also, like, subscribe, and check us out on iTunes and Spotify, wherever you want to listen to your podcast. We are there. Oh, man, Jason, what a week we just witnessed. We had a tie 40-40 game. We had Monday that was a snooze fest, and we also had some of the powerhouses come out looking like powerhouses. So a whole lot to take away with. What was your favorite part of the week? If you had to pick one, I think I know what you're going to say because you keep bringing it up in conversation.
Favorite part of the week? I mean, shoot. Fantasy-wise, it was good to see Saquon actually get in the end zone and do something. That was nice to see. Receivers have been hit or miss, and it was good to see Quinshon Judkins keep on doing what he's been doing. I love that from the young kid.
Yeah. Judkins is pretty elite. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. And Jason, I have to tell you, my favorite part was watching one Adonai Mitchell drop the football like you drop a glass of water in the middle of the night when you like stumble in the dark, filling it up from, the fridge, and you like kind of stumble. That's what he did with the football. And I feel that because I'm a dad. There's constantly things on the floor that I don't see. And I feel like that's what happened in his soul. Was a little turf monster, got him by the ankle and said, "No, you're coming with me." And that ball's going out of bounds. So
do you know what's worse about that play? It's not the fact that he was just running and like how when that happens, most people just drop it down by their side. He was legit trying to push the ball over the line out in front of him, and it slipped out of his hands. And then he tried to recover it and knocked it out of the back. That was probably the most embarrassing thing that you could do right there in that situation.
Absolute pain is what happened there in that situation. We're sorry, my guy. It's going to be on every blooper reel for here on out. Speaking of blooper reels, Jason, I believe it's that time of the week to just go ahead and get to it. Let's vent. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. It's the Cone of Shame time. those of you that are on our podcast, you're gonna have to come check out these cool video, transitions that we're kicking up in here because they're pretty fire. If I do say so myself, Jason, I believe you're gonna kick off with your player who is the cone of shame of the week.
So you've heard me complain about this for the longest time. It's BTJ, man. When you look at the numbers and the target share and his expected numbers, it should be great, but it's not. Shane Waldron is a curse on these receivers. He started out with JSN. Then he went to Odunze. Then now he's with BTJ here. And they all excel whenever he is not around. And your passing game coordinator, he gets paid to not do anything. And his lackluster performances are due to that. And Shane, you have it up right now. His targets look good. He's just not getting in the end zone and he's not getting yards. We haven't seen a breakout from him this year, and he has not broken 8.5 fantasy points this year. Whenever you drafted him pretty high in redraft, BTJ, cone of shame. It's not really your fault. The cone should go to Shane Waldron, but it needs to figure out what the fantasy value that we drafted him at.
I will say I like the cone of shame going to Shane Waldron because he's kind of killing that entire offense, an offense that was doing pretty spectacularly last year in the passing game wise. It has resulted in the revitalization of Travis Etienne, which we've been graced with as fantasy people, but no one expected. Yeah, it's fake.
Sick.
It's fake. I will say Brian Thomas Jr. 15th on expected points per game, but he hasn't done anything. It's a whole lot of empty calories, as you might say. So leaving a whole lot to be desired from the young man. But hopefully we'll, maybe see a rebound and he can come out. He could be the first one to escape the cone of shame. That's the hope, Jason.
Yeah.
Speaking of a guy that's not going to escape the cone of shame anytime soon, this is Mr. Calvin Ridley. Listen, the Titans offense is, dare I say, unwatchable. It is putrid. It is yucky. It looks like it is going backwards whenever it starts. I think that there is more than just this injury going on with Calvin Ridley. I think that they don't really know how to protect their young rookie. I think that he's going through some serious growing pains. And also, Calvin's no longer the alpha. I think that we are truly seeing Alec Eomanor build that chemistry with Cam Ward. And since Tennessee can't really do anything anyways, Calvin's just kind of thrown to the side like a misfit toy. And in that case, I'm going to be Andy and say, I don't want to play with you anymore, Calvin. So for that sake, you are officially in my cone of shame for this week.
As Cam Ward said, they're ass.
He did. There's an exact quote. We are ass, which is pretty amazing and also pretty terrible when your starting quarterback is calling you out like that. I think that
I like it. I like it. It's much needed. Somebody needs to point it out.
It is a fresh breath of air and honesty that whole organization needs to kind of look in the face and be like, hey, how bad are we? I think we're ass. I think he got it. Speaking of, let's go straight into the news.
It's time for news and notes.
Alrighty, y'all. There's a lot of news. We'll just catch you up on some of it since most of your words are hard. Waiver wires have already taken place. You'll be listening to this on Wednesday. Lamar Jackson may not be playing this week against Houston.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush, that downgrades everybody in that offense. Take note, pay attention. Jaden Daniels was limited this week, which would be a bump for certain players, but maybe some regression towards one Deebo Samuel, since Marcus Mariota just seems to love it to feed the ball to Deebo. JJ McCarthy, he's rehabbing. We don't know if he's going to play. Keep an eye on it. See what happens. It may actually be a downgrade for Justin Jefferson and the rest of the squad if JJ plays, because their offenses look superior with Carson Wentz at the helm. Running backs, Joe Mixon is officially not playing this year. Basically, it's what they came out and said. So sorry, Jason, you get to watch Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, specifically Woody Marks. I think you should be excited about Woody Marks. So, and then Tyrone Tracy Jr. He was ruled out week 4. It's questionable whether he'll play week 5. We don't know. They haven't given us an update specifically, but he's not expected to miss a whole lot more of time. So maybe he gets back this week. Keep an eye on it. And then Tajay Spears officially back from IR. So those Tony Pollard owners and Tennessee Titans fans finally have a new toy to play with. And hopefully he, helps them figure out. Maybe they just run 2 running backs out of the backfield, Jason, and get a new look in that offense and figure out what's going on.
They need something.
Yeah, they do. Malik Neighbors. This is the sad one.
Rip.
I mean, this is there's another one that's sad. But Malik Neighbors being hurt for the season, that was like a balloon popping, in my opinion. That was like you just we'll see what happens. There was a lot of interesting promise there with Jackson Dart stepping in and him being the talent that he is. So we'll talk about possible replacements here in a little bit, but specifically Darius Slayton, if he is still available in your league, probably go get him. I would also maybe look to Jalen Hyatt. I think that's most leagues have Wandale Robinson taken. So like that's my thought process is go look at those 2 guys if you are wanting to replace somebody within that offense for Malik. Tyreek Hill, Jason.
Rip.
Yeah, that was gruesome. I don't know. It was awful. It was tragic looking. You hope for a speedy recovery for the guy, but we aren't going to know what that looks like until next year. And he's already came out and said that he's going to try to get to play for week 1 next year. He already put out a press release. So excited to see if he can make that comeback and be the same player. But that was nasty work. So obviously Jaden Daniels, Malik Washington, and Darren Waller all get big bumps off of that. Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings. Basically, if you're a San Francisco 49er, not named Christian McCaffrey, you're on the list. Brock Purdy also questionable to play. Mac Jones also dealing with an injury. So, yeah, check on all of those guys. Find replacements. I don't know what evil curse the San Francisco 49ers have put on themselves, but it is here. And Scary Terry, Jason. Scary is questionable to play. He's against the Chargers, so it would be a good matchup. Kind of depends. It seems to be that he will be trending in the right direction, but keep an eye on it. Make sure that he is a full go, and hopefully he has his starting quarterback back as well. Anything I missed? Anybody I missed, Jason?
Is Braylon Allen all right? I know he went down with an injury.
Yeah, he has a sprained MCL. He's unlikely to play this week, which is a big bump to Isaiah Davis, who has shown some spice, and I wish that he was not on a team called the Jets, because we would have seen Isaiah Davis way sooner than this, because he was a very promising running back. But, the Jets like to stockpile those guys for some reason. Can't draft offensive linemen, only draft running backs. That is the Jets. That's how you win in Madden, Jason. That's why.
That's all I got.
Shout out to Woody Johnson's. It's Brick Johnson. That's what it is. I was like, I know his name. Brick Johnson. That is who is GMing basically that whole organization. So sorry, Jets fans. That's a real thing. Let us get into the rundown, Jason.
Let's get it.
I missed my button here. Help. There we go. Our first game of the week is Thursday Night Football, and it is no other than the absolutely broken San Francisco 49ers taking on the LA Rams at home. Rams, you're firing up everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Blake Gore may be flexible at this point.
Yeah, he's cutting into Kyron's workload a little bit, but it seems like they They know their identity. It's through the air. They are going to let Matt Stafford spin it. And if we had to redraft right now, I think Puka is the consensus 101 easily.
Yes, without a
Mhm.
doubt. And the Rams look like probably the best team in football right now, like both
Yes.
sides of the ball. I think that's something we should all agree on. And wanting any piece of this offense is key. If Blake Arm's available out there in one of your leagues, go stash him because he shouldn't be. And the Niners, dude, with all these injuries, I don't know that I want to touch any Niners, especially this week with the Rams on deck. I mean, if you're gonna play Pearsall, I get it, and like CMC because you're gonna play CMC, but like I'm not rushing out to start anybody on the fringe other than
I-
those. I
If
mean,
you- if
Juwan Jennings if he's playing too. So
if you have other options than Pearsall, would you highly consider it?
yes, 100%. I think the
Okay.
Rams could run away with this game, especially. I mean, we could get a QB3 start from the Niners, so it could get really ugly really fast. The Tottenham Hotspurs game, Jason. This one is over in London. We shipped it to we shipped one team over. The other team was already there. It is the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Cleveland Browns. I gotta say, Cedric Tillman dropping for the Browns. I forgot to add that to the injury list. Jason, what the heck, my guy? Cedric Tillman's out for the Browns. Isaiah Bond. He's a 1,000% ad, in my opinion. He balled out after Tillman left. Dylan Gabriel is going to be coming in. Bond can run those short intermediary routes and will be a yak king. I'm just going to call it now. Like, you want to talk about a guy who's going to get the ball space and then accidentally make something happen? That could be Isaiah Bond.
And get that one go route and hit big on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or get the curl route and the guy stumbles and then it's a foot race. The guy's he claims he's a world-class sprinter, but we all saw his 40 time. He's not slow though. Let's be honest. They're taking on the Vikings though, and the Vikings, honestly, I think you're hoping it's Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, we saw right out the gate, we saw Jettis getting peppered. We saw Addison get his touches. It's a beautiful to see when you throw the football to your key players. You like it as a fantasy owner. Yeah, they didn't put up very many points at the end of the football game, but at the same time, they moved the ball. They got the ball to their key position players, and it was nice to see. I do have a question for you. Are we done with Njoku and Judy? Because Judy's a big disappointment with his drops already this year.
I think a lot of that issue is just the Browns' lack of offense in general. I don't know that I'm done with them, but I'm definitely putting them in timeout. I'd put a cooler on them. They're kind of lining Fannin up everywhere. Like he's not taking direct snaps away from Njoku. They're on the field a lot of times at the same time. Fannin will be like lined up at H-back and then lined up in the slot, and Njoku will be on the line. Like they're not. Njoku's not losing snaps because of it. I think the issue right now is just Flacco's absolutely abysmal play. So I think that maybe Dylan Gabriel here gives them a shot to be, playable again. But
they announced that he's starting.
It is the rumor. It's not been official,
right?
But
that's what I figured. Yeah,
it's been the rumor right now that we are going to get Dylan Gabriel. So I don't know that if I'm the Browns, I'm throwing Dylan Gabriel to the Vikings though. That seems like a real jerk move. Fun fact though, the Browns haven't scored more than 18 points with anybody other than Jameis Winston at the helm in 18 games. So that's it's super great stat. Anyways, Dolphins Panthers, Jason, is the next game. It is in Carolina, and let me tell you, Tyreek Hill being out changes things. I'm gonna let you take this one away. What are your thoughts? Who are you snagging if you have anybody?
Darren Waller sighting came back from the dead. Tua said he loved him. He loves a big body receiver. Because he can catch Tua's bad balls that are thrown in the back of the end zone because he's 6'6" and can jump out the gym. Give me Darren Waller. Look to pick him up in a lot of leagues. I know he's out there. He's available. Panthers, that's kind of gross. I mean, what are we only starting 2 guys on the Panthers right now?
Yeah,
Chuba
Tet
and
and
Tet.
Chuba. I think
Yeah,
you could start Tommy Tremble if you need a tight end. He looks
yeah.
good. They don't have anybody else. I mean,
You
like they are so thin. It's Hunter Renfro and then a guy they had on their practice squad that I quite literally don't even have a scouting report for. So
Do we have a guy on the Dolphins we're picking up instead of Tyreek, or are we just running it with Waddle?
Malik Washington would be my replacement
Washington?
for Tyreek.
Cool.
I think. I mean, you could maybe shoot the shot for the touchdown machine himself. I'm blinking. Nick Westbrook-Akine.
Okay.
But I think I think Malik is the direct replacement, so I would probably lean for that. He's pretty special. I thought he was going to be a pretty decent talent. So to have the opportunity, it sucks when it's at the cost of another player, but like it's cool to see some of these young guys get the chance. This is Malik's second year, so we'll see.
Is Jalen Coker a pickup for the Carolina Panthers?
If he is available in your league, yes, 100,000% Jalen Coker should be on your team. He's not going to play this week. I'm just saying, what his injury is, it's 5 to 6 weeks. So he may not even play next week. I would kind of be surprised if they rush him back at this point because they're not good. They're still not good. So I think maybe they let him play week 6.
Okay.
He's gonna be a great asset as soon as he's back because they need the help and he can play boundary, but he's also a killer slot, and that's Renfro's just not been that guy. So on to the next one, Jason. We got the Dallas Cowboys taking on the New York Jets, also named New Jersey Jets.
Gross.
Yeah, this game's gonna be high scoring. Listen, Justin Fields should be a starting quarterback in your dynasty league if he's available. Go get him. He should be. If you have had any string of injuries, or if a guy has 2 QBs and Justin Fields is one of them, there's a chance you can get him for pretty cheap. Go get him because he is the definition of what you want as a fantasy quarterback. That is my speech on that. Breece Hall finally gets a backfield to himself ish.
For a week.
Maybe for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, like the Jets, Mason Taylor would be like the other spicy.
He did look good. He looked good.
They said that they needed to get him the ball more, and shockingly, they did so.
They don't even throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. It took them to get to the end zone to throw a garbage time touchdown at the end.
Yeah,
Not garbage time. They needed to win, but at the same time, it was like, all right, you finally throw it up to him for a one-on-one jump ball.
To be fair, he had one called back earlier. That was the
blatant push off.
Blatant push off. The tiny chest tap. If you go look at the review, it is
I'm a defender at heart.
It is the weakest OPI I think I've ever seen in my life. So, shout out to NFL refs this week. They were on it.
They were on it yesterday. Too.
Monday, yeah, they made that Denver game literally unwatchable. I was like, I'm just gonna box score watch at this point because I'll just fast forward through the flags later on because there was 26. Jason, Cowboys, you're playing everybody you can.
Yeah,
I think Delbert's a play. I think Keontae Turpin's a play. I mean, if you have Pickens, you're smashing that. But the Jets and the Cowboys defense are both terrible. So, anybody I missed?
Nope, you got him.
Raiders Colts. I'm gonna let you take this one. Thoughts on what is it? Indiana Jones taking on Geno No Stones.
Actually, I like the matchup for him. I would start Danny Dimes this week if you have him. It's one of those. I think he's still top 10 quarterback in the league. He's going to have rushing opportunities this week, especially with that D line getting after him. Colts offensive line has actually played pretty well this year in protecting him. Crosby is going to be an issue. He is always an issue. But if you're an Adonai Mitchell owner, I think you are cussing people out right now. Especially, it's a bold play to start him last week. It would have been a bold play, but I know that it hurts watching what he did. But dude, Tyler Warren, phenomenal pickup by them in the draft. I mean, they show that they're using him. I love their usage with him in the red zone, especially at goal line. Kind of QB options right there. JT looks like himself. Pittman's a must start there. Downs, I wouldn't really go that far. Are you starting Jacoby Myers? I think you have to for if you drafted him.
I think Jacoby is worth a start. In general, Gino looks like he's seeing ghosts.
Yeah, it hasn't been. Yeah,
and not only that, but he's seeing ghosts, and his offensive line's also not helping. So there's more ghosts that are in the backfield within 3 seconds because his offensive line is non-existent. So I think that there's it looks like Gino's completely regressed. So it's sad to see. But I think you're starting Jacoby if you need to. I'm not rushing to start him, but you can. You're starting Brock Bowers, you're starting Ashton Genty, even though I'm not excited to start him against this Colts defense.
yeah. I feel like that offense needs to run it through Genty and give the ball to him at least 30 times a game, if not more. That might take pressure off Gino, and they finally did it last week. And look what happens.
They should honestly hold open tryouts for offensive line at this point.
That's
just
a
see what happens.
good point too.
They should totally go. What is that? 1976 Philadelphia Eagles invincible. And they should go full invincible and just have an open tryout to play offensive line for the Raiders because it is man something else. Speaking of something else, the Broncos and the Eagles is the other game going on in the 12 o'clock slate. I guess we have 3 other 12 o'clock slate games. So we have Broncos Eagles in Philadelphia. Who are we super excited about for the Broncos? Are we buying RJ Harvey at this point? Is this something that we're going to be excited about going forward?
He's not a start yet. I mean, that backfield, if it was the first time he's finally got significant touches in the backfield, it's nice to see that they're using him in the passing game more, which they should have been doing from the start. Their wide receiver core, that gets weird too with Mims, the usage with Franklin and Cortland Sutton's the alpha there, but they're spreading the ball out so much to where I don't know if I can trust anybody more than just Sutton.
I mean, Mims had 6 targets, and they were scheming him to get running. Like they schemed him for a rush. So and then Troy Franklin got 8 targets, and he didn't capitalize on them. But he had, 4 catches for 55 yards, so not terrible. And Sutton,
that's what I'm saying,
100% the alpha. So I think you can kind of roll any of them out, if you want to. RJ, though, I think if you can buy him at this point, you're buying him.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because JK's played fantastically. So they kind of have this curse where they have so many mouths to feed that they don't quite know. Well, it's not a curse for them. It's a curse for us fantasy players. We're like, dude, who am I playing this week? How do I know what you're going to do, Sean Payton? And he's like, I don't want you to know.
It's one of those things where it seems like JK has had an injury history so much to where you don't want to feed him too much to where I can see the RJ Harvey play. It's where it's like almost like a 60-40, maybe 55-45 split in that backfield to where JK is going to get the touches inside. He's athletic enough. He can do everything Harvey can do, but Harvey is the more dynamic back out of the air.
Yeah. I think that Harvey is a pretty good creator. And then the Eagles.
AJ Brown, where you at, bro?
Devonta Smith, where you at, bro?
Yeah,
he hasn't broken 30 yards in 3 of the games this year.
You're almost hoping for touchdown passes or TDs,
or Hail Mary balls that float there, because that's how Devonta broke 30 yards the one time. The Eagles' offense is Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, and they're going to push 30 times, and the refs aren't going to call a flag. And
they're getting carried by defense, special teams, which it wins games. And hey, kudos to them. But if you're a fantasy owner that drafted AJ Brown or Devonta Adams, you're sitting here like, what the hell do I do? So you have to play them. It sucks. You would just love to see Jalen Hurts throw for more than 200 yards.
Indeed, you would love them to open up that offense just a little bit.
They
and
don't have to.
The Broncos defense is fantastic though, so we'll see.
I think they might have to this week with that pass rush.
Nick Bonito is no joke in there for the Broncos, so it'll be interesting. Speaking of, interesting, I was trying to think. This game is going on the corner television. If you know what that means, you know what that means. It is the Giants versus Saints in New Orleans. It is Spencer Rattler and Jackson Dart with no Malik Neighbors. So,
what do you do, Shane? I already threw up in my mouth. I don't know if I can talk about this. Wandale, Scadaboo, Olave,
Rashid Shaheed. The Giants secondary is not good. Shaheed and Jawan Johnson. The Saints are the fastest paced football team in the NFL. They play hurry up football. It's a college spread style offense, which is why we've seen Spencer Rattler do pretty well. And it's why we've also seen them stay pretty competitive because it forces teams to play quick. The Giants
take the D line out of the game.
It does. It gasses the out of them. And Spencer Rattler is, a total gunslinger, loose cannon who can't win a football game. So what else are they going to do? I think that the Giants, you're going to play those guys, and you're probably not playing any of the people you're picking up off the waiver wire for them unless you have to. Darius Slayton would be the guy that I would start if I had to pick one of the others. And then the Saints, you're playing the guys that you've been playing for the Saints. I think that even Kendre Miller needs a shout out here because if he's available, he should be on your roster because they have no incentive to continue to play Alvin Kamara because they're probably not winning very many games this year. And he's probably going to get traded.
Yep, they need picks.
They need a quarterback, Jason. That's what they need. They need an offensive line and they need a quarterback. The Texans versus the Ravens. The Ravens, most likely, the line is telling us that it is not Lamar. That is the key right now, or that it's going to be a severely injured Lamar. So, would you like to take this one over? I know it's your team. You want to give a rundown of what the Texans are going to do to attack this Ravens defense that is also incredibly hurt. Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, all of them injured. Matabuke. The list is very, very extensive for the Ravens. I don't know the Ravens and the Niners did to hurt somebody.
I think this is a game for the Texans to where if you own stock in Texans players, you're licking your chops. This needs to be a game to where they throw the football all over the place like they're on the playground. You can fire up Nico, you can fire up Christian Kirk, and if you're picking up Woody Marks this week, I love him fired up this week. With the short passing game, they showed that they're going to do that, fling the ball on the edges and let those receivers work. I like how the pass rush for the Ravens is not going to be there. Maybe give Stroud a little bit of time, but I like a dynamic Texans team this week. Ravens side, they're going to get after the pass rush. They're going to get after the quarterback. I don't see them playing Lamar. I don't think it would be very smart for them to play Lamar with the Texans edge rushers that they have. I like Cooper Kupp, and I kind of like the fantasy aspect of it. If you have Zay Flowers, Cooper Rush, my bad. I kind of like if you have Zay Flowers this week. Derrick Henry is going to get his touches, but Justice Hill maybe.
They're going to be playing from behind, in my opinion. And if I'm the Ravens and Lamar has a pulse, I'm putting him out there. They can't afford to start 1-4. Like they can't. It is death by firing squad to start 1-4.
I think in their division,
7 teams. There have been 7 teams in NFL history who have made the playoffs from a 1-4 start. I don't foresee them trying to get away with not playing Lamar here. So it'll be interesting.
I think they're in the best division to do so, though.
I mean, Cleveland's surprising. I guess.
Hold your breath.
I was like, I don't got anything else to say on that one.
Yeah.
Going on to the next game, another game that's going on the corner television. The Titans and the Cardinals. We have the 1-1 Cam Ward and Alec Eomanor taking on this Cardinals defense that can't stop a bloody nose. So, Jason, is this the week we finally see the Titans break out?
I'm not banking on it. I'm not starting anybody from the Tennessee Titans unless I have Tony Pollard.
Yeah,
and even then, it's
you
gross.
can flex Alec. I think you can flex Alec, and if you're desperate, you could probably play Chig at tight end. There are worse options than to hope the Chig. The only thing is that I will say the Titans don't look like they're ever. It's like they need a periscope or binoculars to see the end zone in every game. Like they don't ever put themselves in the opportunity to have success.
They didn't get past the 50-yard line for a hot minute versus the Texans.
Yeah, it's tough to watch.
Yeah. Hey,
Cardinals are significantly.
We did see
worse.
Marvin Harrison.
We did, yeah. He caught some passes. Who would have thought? I think you're starting up Trey Benson and Marv and the normal guys. There's nothing that I'm gonna do abnormally with the Cardinals here.
Do you like Kyler this week?
No.
Okay.
I don't. If I'm being honest, the Titans defense scares me. They have a really good front four. Honestly, a really good front seven. So I think that if I can avoid Kyler, I would. Also, I think that this game could get out of hand early. So, what are they gonna do? They're not gonna run the score up. They're gonna try to get people off the field, I think. But we'll see what happens with that one. The other 305 game is the Buccaneers traveling all the way across the United States to take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are terrible at home, Jason. So let me just say, JSN is the key to this game for them. And you're going to see K-Dub run on this Bucs team. I think that the Charbs gets a downgrade because you cannot run between the tackles on this Buccaneers defense. It's just Vita Vea is there. He takes up the entire offensive line. You're not running there. So you have to make something happen on the outside with the Bucs. Pick up Sean Tucker if he's out there and you still haven't heard clarifying word on Bucky Irving's status. Pick him up, put him on your team because
stash.
At worst he's a stash. At best, at worst you get to drop him before the game starts. You'll know before the game starts whether Bucky Irving is available, and you can drop him. You probably have that one rotational spot on your bench anyways. Use it for Sean Tucker in this instance, because Bucky Irving also got banged up last week, and Sean Tucker is really pretty freaking good, guys. Other than that, the Bucs, Sterling Shepard was kind of a no-show, and they needed him. I expect him to probably bounce back here, but the Seahawks defense is no joke. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I'm not rushing to start anybody else. I will say Chris Godwin is a buy. He's screaming buy to me. So go get him.
Mike Evans is going to be out for at least 4 more weeks. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And when he's back, he's just going to be Chris Godwin.
It's still going
to be that dynamic duo. And they have a third you have to cover. One of those dudes is getting open every single time. That whole offense is getting scary.
Godwin just knocking off the rest.
Yeah, indeed he is. He only played 48% of snaps anyways. Yeah. So they were aware that he wasn't full go, but they just needed him. They wanted him. Speaking of wanting and needing, the Bengals need and want Joe Burrow back, but they will not have him for the game against the Detroit Lions. You are starting all of the Lions players, including David Montgomery. What are you doing about the Bengals, Jason?
Trading for a quarterback.
Oh, the Bengals should do that, yes.
But
I heard Russell Wilson is available. Sam Howell.
Give me Jameis Winston.
Sam Howell's available.
Yeah. What do you think you can get for Russ? A 6th-round pick? 7th?
You could probably send a 6th and get a 7th back and Russ.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is too expensive with that poverty franchise.
Yeah, the Bengals refuse to. I mean, that's why they aren't going to trade for a quarterback, Jason, because they would have to pay him
Yeah,
to play for
but
them.
Russ is free.
Yeah,
I would rather have that than Browning, but I don't think it's more so the quarterback's fault all so much. I think that team is just
Orlando
dog
Brown's been
water.
terrible. He
Mhm.
was terrible for the Chiefs. It did not shock me when he went to Cincinnati that he was terrible there.
Yeah.
So
You have to play your guys. That's the worst thing about it. You have to play them. You drafted him hot with a lot of stock, and it sucks to hear. But
know,
I think Chase will complain enough in order to get force fed 12 targets.
what's interesting is that you'll see occasional flashes from Browning where he like shows he is the backup quarterback that we all thought he could like where he could be a serviceable spot start. You see it. It's there. And then it like quickly flickers away. It's like a birthday candle. Like they light it and then you blow it out. That is what happens with Jake Browning and just the shine. So hopefully he takes that birthday candle and turns it into a campfire this week.
It's crazy how Burrow put this team on his back the way he did. Now you see the value in him to where it's like, oh, maybe we should draft some offensive linemen.
Yeah,
Good idea.
It's screaming. This organization is struggling to be run correctly, in my opinion.
Correct.
But that's neither here nor there, Jason, because this is the fantasy show for the Commanders and the Chargers next. And listen, Jaden Daniels looking like he's turning to play. Chargers lost Joe Alt. So
for a little bit, not for the whole season.
No, yes, but he's currently he's not playing this week. He may not play for a couple weeks. That was a severe ankle. Severe ankle sprain that happened. The Commanders, you're starting everybody, and you're picking up Luke McCaffrey because Luke McCaffrey is the guy that we hoped that he was going to be this year. Everybody in the fantasy community was pounding the drum, being like, Christian McCaffrey's brother is going to be good. And we were right. It just took a year for him to figure out the NFL. And the Chargers, O'Marion Hampton is that dude. Shout out. There's, all facts, no printer on that one.
It takes a couple weeks for rookie running backs, and
I guess so.
Glad it's starting to happen. It always does. You just got to see. They got to see it for a little bit. They got to get a little taste of the medicine.
Well, everybody hits harder, runs faster in the NFL. That is something, and then you can't simulate that in practice. So I think that it makes sense that it takes a little acclimation period for these guys to be like, oh, hey, I'm built different. I can do this. So that confidence comes back for sure. Jason, is there anybody special that you would like to shout out for this game? Any players that you're like, hey, I'd like you on my team if you're available?
Chris Rodriguez?
I do like that. I think that this is a split backfield with JCM and Chris Rodriguez. I will say I think JCM looks like the better back.
Yes.
But Chris Rodriguez's stats have been better. So I think what you have here is an interesting arbitrage, Jason. I think this is your opportunity to go get JCM at a pretty cheap price because, the owners are going to feel a little let down. And you're going to get that second half running back boost from the rookie 7th rounder. I think that's the play here. So go target JCM if you can.
Agreed.
For the Chargers, though,
I mean, you're firing up your dudes to the Chargers. I mean, Quinn Johnson, finally. I mean, it only took you quite a while, but now you're the dude that they drafted in the first round. Ladd is still that guy. Mario, yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong, honestly, on that offense. I'm firing up.
Gadsden is someone I would stash. I was trying to think of a team like a guy that would be fun to stash. Gadsden would be my stash player for the Chargers.
Okay, gotcha. So with that being said, now Shane, we have the
Yeah, so I think that that just leads us directly into the next game, Jason. We have the Patriots versus the Bills. Oh, man. You want to talk about another doozy for a Sunday night football game? I think that this one just screams, dare I say, disappointment. Drake May was perfect last week, and now he gets to go up against this Bills team. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and the Bills were kind of disappointing in themselves last week. I mean, yes, they did win. They put up 31 points, but I mean, it's kind of like we talked about this last week on the fantasy episode with Coleman showing up early on in the season. It was kind of been a dud in these past what 2 to 3 weeks, kind of now to where and the alpha Khalil Shakur, who was supposed to be a viable two in that offense, is showing up as their number one guy. So it's like, what do we trust there? But we all know it's going to be a James Cook and Josh Allen show.
Agreed.
And Shakir is going to get the targets, it seems like.
Yeah, it's totally a backcourt run show, not a front court run show. I think that's how I would call it. If we were talking basketball terms, I think the Bills' offense is really good. So I think that they have obviously the advantage in this matchup, and you're starting the pieces that you have from both offenses or from that offense. The Patriots, let me shout out one specific player, Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
The man is coming off an ACL. He's been ramping up. You finally saw it look different last week. And Drake May rewarded him. I think that there's a serious conversation going on about the fact that he can trust Diggs. And I think that they found out that Pop Douglas isn't as reliable as they thought. So they're switching to Kyle Williams. I think that this Patriots offense is becoming much more of a cohesive unit, but it's still run through Drake May. And unfortunately, Ramondre Stevenson at this point. We hope to see some more involvement from Travion Henderson. Apparently, Vrabel said that he needs to be better at pass blocking. So there's that. We'll see what happens for Mr. Henderson. But hopefully he gets more run. I think the Kyle Williams, though, would be the interesting stash for the Patriots and the Bills. I don't have one. Ray Davis in case the James Cook gets hurt, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Ray Davis does get some touches in the red zone every once in a while. He is the bigger-ish back, I guess. They're kind of the same back, if we're going to be completely honest. I think Ray Davis can catch the ball better out of the backfield a little bit, but other than that, but what you were saying about Travion Henderson, that seems to be the one key piece in what gets and keeps rookie and young running backs on the field. And an example, Woody Marks is one of the best pass pro rookies in the league. And you see him just you saw him turn himself into a 3-down back now. And
Yeah.
he's getting touches. And same with Mario Henderson. I mean, yes, there was injuries in that backfield, but he hasn't done anything wrong to protect the quarterback. So it's one of those key pieces right there. But with the Pats, do you like any of the other receivers there? Can you trust any of them?
I'm not starting anybody aside from Steph and Hunter Henry as far as the pass catchers go, in my opinion. Boudier is a fine start if you need a flex. If you're in a deep league, I think that, he is a true boomer bust. And the Bills are going to put up points. I think this could be a high-scoring game. I think the Patriots defense has stepped up. I mean, Christian Gonzalez being on the field is a huge bonus for them. So I think that makes this game a little bit more intriguing for me.
This could be the best game of the weekend. This has the matchup to be the best game of the weekend. But if it's going to be a good game, it's going to be a slugfest, in my opinion.
Yeah, indeed. I was thinking it's going to be a shootout, in my opinion. I think that's the way that, because the Bills' defense isn't good and the Patriots' defense isn't great.
But it's just in division.
Both defense. Yeah, that's true. They do see each other twice.
Oh.
So, well, it'll be interesting. I'm excited for that one, actually. But it also has the bookings of a snooze fest. It could go either way on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's just roll right into the last game.
Take it away from here. Take it away. I want to hear your thing.
You have the
away.
Chefs taking on the Jags. Listen, I said that the Chiefs were going to look a little different when Xavier Worthy got back. Just saying. Those words came out of my mouth. Travis Kelce had the opportunity of a lifetime to put up one of the best games in recent memory and disappeared. So let me just say, I would try to sell Travis Kelce. I think I'd be buying Xavier Worthy everywhere. I'd be buying Rashee Rice everywhere because Patrick Mahomes looks like he's back. He looks like he's motivated. He looks like he's ready to play. And his offense looks like it's ready to play. Brashard Smith is an interesting wrinkle. I think that he fills the Jerick McKinnon role incredibly well. So I think that that's a key point to keep an eye on. He did get 28% of the snaps. So not insignificant. Keep an eye on it. See what happens. I would definitely be adding Brashard in leagues around, if you're a deeper league or you're 12 man and you need some running back depth, there's a chance the rookie gets more run. He looked good. So the Jags, Jason talked about it on his Cone of Shame. It's tough sledding. I think you're starting the guys you have to start. You're starting ETN. You're starting BTJ because you drafted him super high. You're starting Hunter because you probably drafted him super high. I think that Britton Strange is the most reliable target that they have. So other than that, I'm not rushing out to start De'Ami Brown or Parker Washington or any of those guys. So the Chiefs, you're starting whoever you can get a hold of and has anybody that has a role. And the Jags, just not the same. So that's my take for Monday Night Football. Jason, anything you would like to add to it?
No, it just sucks that some of those guys like Parker Washington and whatnot are eating up at the target share of, like you said, Hunter and BTJ, but ETN, Brandon Strange, yeah, those are good starts right there.
Yeah, I think if Strange is available on in your league, go get him.
He's a start too.
Yeah,
immediate start.
He's an easy, serviceable top 12 tight end at this point, and he's proven it for 3 weeks now in a row. I think that wraps it up for us this week. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, brought to you by Fantasy Six Pack. Listen, if you guys like what you heard, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell till it goes ding. And in the meantime, Jason, what do you got for him?
This is the chance where you got to make a push. If you started off rough earlier in your fantasy, or the first 4 weeks, you can make a push right here. You just got to buy in. Good luck.
It is true. It is early times. It is early times and fascinating times. Go make that money. In the meantime, we love you to the moon and back.